Welcome to the Ice Park in Angers, France for the International Skating Union's Grand Prix of Figure Skating. This is the third stop on the Grand Prix, with the Grand Prix de France underway now, having seen the women's short program be completed and the ice dance rhythm dance. We look ahead now to the men's event, and then later this evening we will conclude the first day of competition with the pairs short program. We've seen some brilliant and exciting skating already. Earlier today, Amber Glenn was quite sensational in her short program, complete with a brilliant triple axel. And then in the ice dance event, Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri, the world bronze medalists and European champions, took the lead comfortably and unsurprisingly in the ice dance competition ahead of the home crowd favourites Evgenia Loporeva and Jeffrey Brissot. As we look ahead to the men's event, the crowd will be hoping and expecting Adam Siao Him Fa to be triumphant. He was sensational 12 months ago in this very arena en route to his first Grand Prix title here of the 2023 season. We hope he will be able to resume some of that form, but we understand that he's had a busy and difficult off-season given the injury that kept him from jumping for 6 weeks. So perhaps he will be threatened a little by Lukas Britschgi, the Swiss skater who will be the penultimate performer in the men's event. And within this first group, we will have such a range of experience in the skaters competing, with Boyang Jin, the Chinese champion, competing again on the Grand Prix series. He's such a veteran, having won 2 world bronze medals years ago, alongside others who are competing in their first ever senior Grand Prix assignment. From here, the International Skating Union Grand Prix series heads to Japan for the NHK Trophy, for the season nears its end with events in Finland and in China. As we look at the starting order for this men's event, Andrew Torgashev will open the men's short program, and then, as I mentioned, Boyang Jin will be the 5th to skate, rounding out the men's short program with Adam Siao Him Fa. All of the skaters vying for points to compete at the Grand Prix final, which returns to France in Grenoble from the 5th to the 8th of December. Whoever wins each event will take 15 points. Second place, 13, 11, 9, then 7. As we look at the judges responsible for the grades of execution assigned to the elements in a short program, and also the program component scores. There, the technical panel, with Laura Fernandez returning to the technical panel. She was part of the technical panel in the women's event also. And the 3 members of the technical team will be responsible for deciding the levels for the spins and the step and the rotation in the jumping passes, as well as the takeoff edges. Everybody has their place and their parts to play in an ISU competition. And certainly we are treated to the very best in the world at a senior Grand Prix, the illustrious stage, as we see the shadow and silhouette of Andrew Torgashev.
Representing the United States of America, please welcome Andrew Torgashev.
The 23-year-old from Florida, Andrew Torgashev. Before the first of the 3 Frenchmen, Luc Economides.
Koshiro Shimada.
Then the first of 2 Japanese men, Koshiro Shimada. Before seeing Francois Pitot. And then to our former 4-continent champion, Boyang Jin.
Aleksandr Selevko.
And the final competitor in this first group, Aleksandr Selevko. And now a 6-minute warm-up underway for the skaters to get ready for this short program. All of the skaters will have had an official practice in the practice rink earlier today before presumably returning to the hotel to rest and recover in anticipation of the event itself, as we see amazing flow and glide from Andrew Torgashev. And as we saw with Loreen Shield in the women's event, an insight into some of the exercises the skaters work through to prepare themselves before going for the jumping passes, the warm-up for the single skaters. So focused on jumping passes, using a triple loop as an opportunity to check with his rotational position and his access point, although unlikely to be used in his planned program content, unlike the triple flip, triple toe, which I assume is the jump combo of choice for the 23-year-old.
From the United States of America, Andrew Torgashev.
A man who's spent so long at the rink between coaching, to finance his training, and his gym work, often at the rink for 10 hours per day. As we look to Luc Economides, the Frenchman who trains part-time in France, but also part-time in Boston, America with Daniel Rad. 12 months ago, Luc Economides was brilliant in this event. He came 6th in Angers at the ice park 12 months ago. And that was the start of his best ever season, managing to make the French team at both Europeans and Worlds and qualifying for the free skate in both.
Koshiro s'entraîne en Suisse avec Stéphane Lambiel, champion du monde et médaille olympique.
And now to Koshiro Shimada, another skater who competed here last year, was 10th in the event last year behind Luc Economides. Looking comfortable with the triple axel there, but he has acknowledged that he has been unwell since Skate America. Feeling okay now, but undoubtedly the impact of that lack of training time will have adversely impacted his preparations. Koshiro will be hoping to repeat the 6th place or better that he had 2 weeks ago in Texas. As we see the skater in their first senior Grand Prix, he did compete in the junior Grand Prix final in Beijing last year, thanks to the success he had on the junior Grand Prix circuit, and concluded his junior Grand Prix career with a 5th place at the World Junior Championships in early March. Lovely triple axel for Francois Pitot. And he, like Koshiro Shimada, competed in Texas 2 weeks ago. He was 11th there. As we look to the familiar figure of Boyang Jin, the 27-year-old from Harbin, such a stalwart. And a skater that was renowned for his technical prowess in his earlier senior competitive career, and now appreciated for his longevity. We all so sincerely hope that Boyang Jin can resume the form that took him to world bronze medals, as we see him working through quad toe fairly comfortably.
From China, Boyang Jin.
Aleksandr est entraîné par Irina Kononova, Raphaël Aratunian et Katerina.
And now to the final skater in the group, Aleksandr Selevko.
Avoir gagné une médaille au niveau international, médaille d'argent au championnat d'Europe
He had an event in Nice, the Trophy Metropole, not long ago. Scored well in the short program. He was 3rd in the short program with an 83.22 at that event. Struggled in the free skate, had 3 falls there, so hoping to piece together 2 clean skates. And Aleksandr explained that he changed both of his programs this season, which he doesn't usually do, working on new choreography for both the short and the free skate. As we edge towards the closing stages of the warm-up, and as we cast our minds back to the previous 2 weeks on the Senior Grand Prix, we know that Ilya Malin, the world champion, has secured his spot at the final, having taken the maximum 30 points on the Grand Prix series already with 2 wins, both in Texas and at Halifax. And he did so with comfortable leads over the other competitors. Although perhaps still the standout performance of the season thus far comes from Kevin Amos, who won the free skate in Allen, Texas. And wonderful to hear that the world champion Ilya Malin was so appreciative of the brilliance of Kevin as well, despite the fact that he beat him in the free skate. Good camaraderie demonstrated there.
Messieurs, l'échauffement est terminé. Veuillez quitter la piste, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Gentlemen, this warm-up has ended. Would you please leave the ice? Thank you.
So 5 men clear the ice, leaving the stage for Andrew Torgashev. And Andrew, a skater so passionately committed to the performance and the presentation, said that his mission is to have the audiences feel what he feels, and for them to have a moment frozen in time just for the length of his skating performance. And we all hope to be captivated for the next 2 minutes and 50 as he skates to the passionate and intense music L'Enfer by Stromae.
Je suis pas tout seul à être tout seul, ça fait déjà ça moi dans la tête. Et si je
Gorgeous quadruple toe loop to open the short program for Andrew.
que plein d'autres y ont déjà pensé, mais malgré tout, je me sens tout seul. Du coup, j'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires.
Followed up with the triple axel. Great camel spin feature, changing edge. Different spin requirements for all of the competitors this season. Many pushed to work on different features to achieve the maximum level 4, which he did. Oh gosh, just a fluke fall.
Pas trop quand même, sinon ça repart vite dans la tête. Et c'est
Just to mentally regroup now for the jump combo.
C'est là que j'aimerais tout oublier.
Which he does well, triple flip, triple toe.
J'ai parfois eu des pensées suicidaires, j'en suis peu fier. On croit parfois que c'est la seule manière de les faire taire. Ces pensées qui me font vivre un enfer.
Really cool back choctaw. Oh, that's such good blade control within the step sequence.
Je sais vraiment pas quoi faire de toi, justement réfléchir. C'est bien le problème avec toi.
Well, so much to admire, so much to appreciate and enjoy in Andrew Torgashev's performance there. He won the best performance at the senior men at the US Nationals in terms of the performance, and acknowledged for that by the PSA, the Professional Skater Association. Such a an engaging skater, and that's entirely his ambition, as I mentioned before he took to the ice. He also told me how he connects with the artist story of this music and how he's working to connect with the audience. And I love some of the musicality and nuances. Brandon Frazier saying he's really inspired by the choreography. You can see the Rafael Aratunian influence on the technique of this quad toe. And that surely a +1 or +2 at least on the grade of execution. Based on the quality here, I look from a different angle. Great elevation. No doubt about the rotation as we see the triple flip, triple toe, and he had mentally regroup after that bizarre fall early. You can see the change of edge there in the landing, so working from back inside to back outside, not optimal, so that will pull down the grade of execution a little. This touches like this, unique movement choice, and since Andrew had explained the music and his connection with it, I downloaded it myself. It's a brilliant piece, and the way in which Andrew has worked on the articulation of some of the music was really impressive. Some of it quite introverted, and some of it extroverted too. Great to see Brandon here with them. 81.54. The deduction for that fall partway through, but it wouldn't have affected too much the other program components. Coach says it's a good start. And now to Luc Economides. And we've seen some passionate interpretation already with the first performance. Luc will likely deliver the same kind of intensity. Coached by Florent Amodion, and choreography by Artem Fedorchenko. As he skates to Hier encore.
Hier encore, j'avais 20 ans, je caressais le temps et jouais de la vie comme on joue de l'amour, et je vivais la nuit sans compter sur mes jours qui fuyaient dans le temps. J'ai fait tant de projets qui sont restés en l'air, j'ai fondé tant d'espoirs qui se sont envolés, que je reste perdu ne sachant où aller, les yeux cherchant le ciel et le cœur en terre.
Off axis, lands the triple axel. Great entry into the triple flips. Great camel feature, changing edge at the same time for two features in one, and here using the features change of direction well to achieve the level 4 change foot combo spin, change camel spin. Again, precariously off axis, and thus loses a combination.
Hier encore.
I think there's such a place for Luc Economides on the senior circuit, and it's so great to see the bravery of a different choice of movement. And although perhaps the judging panel might not be as used to listening or might not be in their playlist, that choice of music, they have to define the presentation by the skater's complete personal involvement in the program and how the skater expresses and projects a mood, a feeling, an image, a rhythm, or a style. And I love how Luc does that in the step sequence. That said, as much as I rate that and love that, and Florent Amodio, the fantastic skater and now choreographer, rates that, you can see his influence on a student, the technical score is valuable, and the technical score will dictate so much. Here, the triple axel, amazingly, actually, I don't think the hand touched, so not easily a reduction for errors. This triple flip entry was seemingly from nowhere, interspersing the choreography and there into the Ina bar with body movement afterwards. So a really good example of transitional content in and out of the flip, and indeed the pattern and placement of it was unique too. However, that triple Lutz must have felt terrifying in the air and completely unable to make a combination, and that so costly, probably losing 6 or 7 points with the impact of that as Florent looks on. As I say, there's so much that is unique about this, memorable and celebrated. This is the kind of skater who you feel could make viral work on TikTok or social media because of his movement choices. And I'm sure he and Florent and the coaching staff are eager to ensure that quads are part of his planned program content in the future so that he can return with stronger scores. It's 69.66 for Luc.
Sur la glace, représentant le Japon.
Next to skate, representing Japan, Koshiro Shimada.
And now, Koshiro Shimada, the 23-year-old Japanese skater. He competed in Skate America, but has felt unwell since then and has hampered his practice and his preparations as he skates Can't Take My Eyes Off You by Shawn Mendes.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You're just like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived. And I just thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true.
Wonderful glide and flow to start from Koshiro. And a good quad toe.
It's quite alright. I need you, baby, for the lonely nights, my pretty baby. Just know that it's true.
And a much better triple axel here than in Skate America. And there, the difficult blade feature.
You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You're just like heaven and touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last love has arrived, and I just thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you.
Well, despite the illness that has plagued him a little bit between his first Grand Prix assignment this season and this now in Angers, France, Koshiro Shimada delivers a better skate. He had a fall on the triple axel 2 weeks ago, but both the quad toe and the triple axel comfortably done today. A little bit of a problem with the jump combo, which is currently under review by the technical panel, but a skater who is growing in popularity. He has some wonderful exhibition performances. He's interpreted the Sanji anime character so successfully at shows in Japan, and that is accruing him many, many fans. There's Stéphane Lambiel, two-time world champion from Switzerland, greets him off the ice, long-time coach now. And Koshiro worked with the former world ice dance champion Shailin Bourne in this choreography, and he said that her creativity, energy gave him a lot of passion, and anybody that's worked with Shailin will understand that, as we see the quad toe, which was backed up with this triple axel. There, that deep left forward outside edge into the skid takeoff. Take off with the triple axel. Here was the mistake. The triple lutz, uncomfortable, a little readjusts, but perhaps a little over rotated with the body, and thus the step out. And interestingly, actually, the judges have viewed that step out as a fall, so sufficient weight must have come off his blades for the tech panel to consider that worthy of a fall, and a -1 extra deduction. So in Skate America, Koshiro had an 81.88. The fan explained it's always such a long moment, a long wait to find out the score. It's an 80.42. And Koshiro slots into second place behind the first skater to compete, Andrew Torgashev.
Next skate representing France, Francois Pitot.
And now to the youngest of the Frenchmen competing in Angers today, Francois Pitot. He, another skater that competed in Skate America 2 weeks ago. However, he had a bit of a nightmare there, fall on the triple axel and issues with the jump combination as well. Hoping for better now as he skates the Libertango. Painful fall on the quad sacco. Hope his shoulder's okay. Oh no. Single axle, and he has such a wonderful quality of triple axle. Not on this occasion. The same fate as in Skate America, just a double-double combination, which is no value to the athlete. I worried about his shoulder. I thought it was his right shoulder that would have hurt on the landing of that quad salto for Francois Pitot. I mean, commitment to the end, and a shout out to Angelique Abishkina for the choreography. He stayed interpreting to the end of the performance. The concept behind it, obviously committed from costume to choreography, but I just wonder for Francois Pitot if the inclusion of the quad salto is adversely affecting all the rest of the program. When he competed so brilliantly last year as a junior, you cannot include a quadruple jump in the short program as a junior man. Now, he's obviously capable, and I've seen him do quad salto, but that's perhaps consuming his brain space so much that it affects the entire program at this stage of his development. Just hope he's okay. As Romain Ponsat prepares him for the performance. Here you can see a fingertip commitment to the choreography, but this, the quad salto, looks okay. Not the way you want to start any short program. And as I say, he's got a gloriously good triple axel, and he fell in it though in Allen, Texas. Popped it here. He did double its double toe in Allen, Texas. He wants triple. Maybe that was still in his brain as he prepared for the takeoff of the Lutz this time. And also have to acknowledge the enormity of the occasion. A senior Grand Prix event carries greater weight, greater pressure, greater expectation. And that perhaps the reason that this is no real reflection of Francois and coach and choreographer. I've seen though the brilliance that he can deliver in junior events and in practice. So hopefully the disappointment today can be used as a stepping stone as he moves further up into the senior events. So 48.94. A day Francois would like to forget, but good to see him still acknowledging the audience. I sincerely hope that he's okay.
Next to skate, representing China, Boyang Jin.
Well, a star of the sport for many years, Boyang Jin, now 27 years young, from China. And this short program choreography is about the ups and downs of skating and still having the heart to keep fighting after disappointment. Joey Russell, the choreographer, explaining the message behind this performance as he skates to Vienna. Oh, good quad toe. Perfectly pitched to the music.
Underneath all the applause, this devastation is of our own making, but we've never tasted this much bitterness before. And everybody falls, but some of us are born to fight and fight and fight some more. So we will see you here, same time, same place next year. You can take this battle, 'cause we're gonna win the war. Better to have fought and lost than never fought.
That's a clean skate so far for Boyang. Triple Lutz, triple toe after the triple axel.
I hope when you see me, you remember that feeling. Oh, 'cause we have both seen the world from both sides now. Oh, we will
This is where you can see the progression in Boyang skating.
same time, same place next year. You may win this battle, but you'll never win the war. Better to have fought and lost than never fought.
Well, skating fans will appreciate the major success behind that performance for Boyang Jin. It's still not back to the technical prowess that he's had in the past, but a clean skate for a skater who was so dismayed and so sad to finish so low at last year's World Championships in Montreal, 39th at that event. But this performance, I'd mentioned the wrong music choice. The music here, Fought and Lost, so special. And as Joey Russell explained, it's about the story of this athlete. And Joey had also told me that Boyang had been competing and training so well leading into last year's Worlds in Montreal that it was heartbreaking to see him perform so badly. But they hope that this program can show audiences that being a multi-generational skater like Boyang is something valuable to the sport. And also, putting your soul on the ice is a brave act, as Brian Orser, former world champion, encourages him on to the ice. The quad toe was good in the warm-up and good in the performance.
Congratulations.
Here the triple axel. And you can see on the landing there's not the natural flow and glide of the blade in regards to the skating skills from Boyang as some others, but it has improved. We've seen quad Lutz triple toe in the past, triple Lutz triple toe here, but at least cleanly delivered. And from this you can build back up again, hopefully, to include more difficult content perhaps as the season progresses. But when the coach is happy, the skater's happy, and you have to assume that for Boyang, having had the great successes that he's had in the past, to continue putting himself in the competitive arena is about experiencing moments like this, clean skates and pride in the work that you've done. And Brian looks just as proud as the athlete. Brian says, welcome back. The new leader, Boyang Jin, 88.12. Nice score.
Représentant l'Estonie.
Last to skate from Estonia, Aleksandr Selevko.
And the final skater in this first warm-up group, Aleksandr Selevko, the European silver medalist. He's previously scored above 90 points in a short program, but this season so far, 83. How will he fare in Angers? Such exciting speed into the quad toe, just the hand down. Such brilliant musicality.
If I left you on your own, you wouldn't do like you're supposed to. You better make a correction. Get out this deception. Start treating me right. We had discussed it, so I was disgusted. There's one thing that I got to say, all about sleeping in another man's bed.
Such a good transition out of the triple H triple toe. Estonia's Aleksandr Selevko looks satisfied with the performance despite the mistake on the opening quad toe. And blues music is often hard to do. It can be hard to pick light and shade within. And yet Aleksandr, I thought, was brilliant in the variety and the contrast of his energy and movement. And the judges want to see a musical sensitivity and timing with the skater able to move accurately and consistently as required by the characteristics of the music. And I thought Aleksandr did an incredible job of that. I think David Wilson, the choreographer, as he heads towards Irina Kononova, his longtime coach, alongside Rafael. And they're talking about the variety and contrast of energy and movement, that back bend to open, showcasing that as we see the quad toe. And so because the hand touches, because there's not a flowing running edge, it will be a negative grade of execution. But there, on the landing of the triple axel, the reason why 2 points were added to the score, such was the quality of that takeoff and landing. Here's the triple lutz. It looks like he's got enough time to make that a quad, potentially in the future. The toe step into the drag and the lift of the free leg following that jump combo was brilliant. for me, from a presentation component score, of the 3 components the judges have, I think composition and presentation should be pushing into the mid-8s at least. So it's been a mixed bag for Aleksandr this season on the Challenger Series. He's had 166 score, 183. This 85.73, a season's best, not a personal best, but moving in the right direction for the Estonian skater. Well, that concludes the first group in the men's short program, and a really exciting and varied group that it was. Unfortunate for Francois Pitot, who had a bit of a nightmare performance. Luc Economides, the skater in 5th place, that was unique and interesting too. And great to see Boyang Jin as his coach. The famed Canadian Brian Orser said welcomed back with a score that is something he can be very proud of as he resumes the form of your as you prepare to see the next 6 men taking to the ice, and be prepared for a rousing reaction to the final competitor introduced to this arena.
From the United States of America, please welcome Camden Pulkinen.
And now, opening the group, 24-year-old from Arizona, Camden Pulkinen.
From Japan, Kazuki Tomono.
And then to the 26-year-old from Osaka, Kazuki Tomono.
From Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shaidorov.
Before Mikhail Shaidorov.
Représentant l'Italie.
From Italy, Nikolaj Memola.
And then to Italy's Nikolaj Memola.
Représentant la Suisse.
From Switzerland, Lukas Britschgi.
And then to Lukas Britschgi.
Representing France, Siao Him Fa.
Messieurs, 6 minutes d'échauffement.
6 minutes for a
And it doesn't take a very educated person to gather that the final competitor will be from the home nation, Siao Him Fa. So 6 minutes of warm-up time for all 6 men competing in this, the 3rd stage of the ISU Senior Grand Prix Series 2024. And of course, the skaters will be eager to potentially secure a spot at the final and also cement their position as contenders for participation at the Olympic Games as we enter the latter stage of this Olympic cycle. Camden Pulkinen. I was so amazed by the way in which Camden Pulkinen was managing his schedule in studying for the university degree. He graduated in May, and I assumed thereafter that he would be able to enjoy a lightened schedule, but instead he started working in financial services in New York City straight after graduating. Still eager to participate as an international competitor alongside his career in finances. As we look to Kazuki Tomono. Kazuki injured his right hip 3 weeks ago, and he told the media in Japan that he was still worried, but recognizes that if he can deliver under that duress, that will give him confidence to perform in difficult situations in the future. Japanese skaters trying to embrace and frame any less than stellar preparation in a positive light.
Mikhail est entraîné par Aleksandr champion olympique. Il est vice-champion du monde junior 2022.
And now to a skater coming into this event in stellar form, Mikhail Shaidorov from Kazakhstan.
Gagnant du Challenger
managed to achieve a 95.5 point short program score at the Denis 10 Memorial in Kazakhstan. And that entry and difficulty into the quad toe, so difficult, followed up by a very effortless jumping pass, suggests that the form continues for the 20-year-old from Almaty. Another skater who has been sidelined by injury, Nikolaj Memola. He had an ankle fracture, which forced him off the ice for 6 weeks in the off-season. But his mother, Olga Romanova, who serves as both parent and coach, worked hard to ensure that he didn't become despondent or fall into any despair. And that level of support from coach and mum has allowed him to get back on the ice, and we saw him competing at the Andrei Nepola last week in Bratislava as he tries to get back to the kind of form that secured him a top 10 spot in the world last season. Lukas Britschgi, an amazing short program concept. I have so much admiration for the idea behind this short program for the Swiss 26-year-old. The concept is about freedom against oppression and dictatorship. And the step sequence is built on sign language. And he's worked with a professional sign language speaker to ensure that he is authentic in his storytelling. And then he's using his craft and his medium to speak up about what he's passionate about. As we look to Adam Siao Him Fa, Adam Siao Him Fa, European champion twice now and reigning. How much does he have eyes set on that 2026 Olympics? He amazed us all on the Grand Prix circuit last year. As I said at the start of this event 12 months ago, he started having the skating fraternity and community discussing if he could be the next world champion. He is one of very, very few men to achieve over both 100 points in the short program and 200 points in the free skate. But injury has affected him this season. He's explained now that he is back to the ability to jump the quads that we saw him use so successfully last year, but doesn't have perhaps the stamina because of the time off. So as we head towards the closing stages of the men's short program, we cast our minds back to the first two events where Ilya Malinin won in both Halifax and in Allen, Texas. Ilya just under 100 points in the short program 2 weeks ago, but then a massive 106.22 in Skate Canada.
Messieurs, l'échauffement est terminé. Veuillez quitter la piste, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Gentlemen, your warm-up has ended. Would you please leave the ice?
We've seen Adam struggling through the warm-up. Will he be able to use the next 40 minutes or so to recalibrate his brain space for an optimal skate? Alex Johnson, the coach of Camden Pulkinen, looks to be exuding as much calm as he can before fist pumping Camden as he takes to the ice.
Please welcome Camden Pulkinen.
So previously he was juggling a full-time student occupation alongside his training. Now full-time work and training, but Camden described that to me as extremely empowering. And he will skate to Break My Heart Again by Phineas.
just now leaving. Can I come around later on this evening? Or do you need time? Yes, of course, that's fine.
Just didn't get the pop on the takeoff of the quad toe that he needed.
Good morning. I'm sure you're busy now. Why else would you
Just a double axle.
ignore me? Or do you need space? You can't help it if your mind has changed. So go ahead and break my heart again. Leave me wondering why the hell I ever let you in. Are you the definition of insanity? Or am I? Oh, it must be nice to love someone who lets you break them twice. Don't pretend that I'm the instigator. You are the one, but you were born to say goodbye. Kissed me half a decade later. That same perfume, those same sad eyes. Go ahead and break my heart again. Leave me wondering why the hell I ever let you in. Are you the definition of insanity? Or am I? Or am I? It must be nice to love someone who lets you break them twice.
America's Camden Pulkinen completes his short program. And unfortunately for Camden on this occasion, each of the three jumping passes had mistakes that are less than optimal, hence the shake of his head.
Camden Pulkinen.
And you could argue and suggest, well, perhaps that's a consequence of the fact that Camden is indeed juggling his full-time work and training. However, he's such a beautiful skater, such beautiful music, such a beautiful skater. And Camden explained to me that he wants to continue pushing himself to stay in the moment and wants to enjoy opportunity to perform. And how wonderful that he appreciates and recognizes that this really is an opportunity to be able to showcase your craft and your hard work and something that you love. And I'm grateful to be able to see the quality of his movement again. You just, a shame that the beauty of his skating doesn't have the same impact without the tech score, because if that performance had an opening quad toe, a triple axel and a triple combination, then we could be looking at a leader for sure based on the quality of the program component scores. Here's the quad toe, mohawk entry, and just flat-footed a little bit on takeoff. Consequently, I think it'll be a little bit under-rotated, or at least a quarter rotation short. 2.5 rotations as opposed to the 3.5, and thus he loses nearly 5 points in base value had he done the triple axel. Triple Luke's pitched forward, so didn't have the flow necessary. Thought about doing a triple toe, but probably wisely played it safe and staying upright on a double toe.
Good morning. I'm sure you're busy now. Why else would you ignore me? Or do
Be interesting to see how
you need
Camden
space?
continues to juggle the
You can't
schedule
help
that he
it
does have.
if your mind has changed. So
But we're grateful to see him, and hopefully, as he continues to adapt to this new lifestyle, He'll be able to resume that form that saw him place top 5 at the World Championships back in 2022. And maybe it's the fact that he's a busy working man as well, that he has a bit of context to be able to recognize it's not the end of the world, far from what was desirable. But I'd be able to put into context.
I just got up and went into it, but I don't think I built any pattern. I don't think that pattern is honestly working.
Interesting to hear Coach Alex Johnson asking after the quad toe, what were you thinking? Camden acknowledging the pattern for the takeoff of the axle. Not comfortable as he achieves just 64 points. But Alex is right, onwards and upwards. And we look forward to seeing Camden return for the free skate tomorrow.
Sur la glace, représentant le Japon.
Next to skate representing Japan, Kazuki Tomono.
Well, we've seen his best friend, Koshiro Shimada, skate already in this event. A program, I think, choreographed by Shailin Bourne. Now is the turn of Kazuki Tomono. And I believe this too, choreographed by Shailin Bourne, but a different vibe as he skates to Moana Poto. Stepping out of the quad toe, wanted a combination, will now need to make the quad sako next, the jump combo. And does that quad sako double toe. Really good edge set in the transition into that triple axel. Difficult forward inside loop turn within the step sequence. Well, maintaining character and commitment to the composition of the program right to the end of the performance for Kazuki Tomono.
Du Japon,
And the
Kazuki Tomono.
freshly made support with the appropriate costume from the fans in the audience here for the Japanese skater. A skater who has competed at World Championships 3 times. He's managed to be selected late for World Championships multiple times, but last year was just 6th at the Japanese National Championships, so didn't make World's team. And now hoping to perhaps fill the spot that Shoma Uno makes on the Japanese World team following the former World Champion's retirement this year. And interestingly, Kazuki posted thanks to Shoma on Instagram for the inspiration that he has offered him as he takes the biggest stuffy off the ice. And our sport is most celebrated, I believe, in Japan. And I'm sure there's some of those Japanese fans that have made their way to Angers in France to support the skaters here and brought the stuffies with them. Here's the opening quad, the toe loop. Just couldn't cling on to the back outside edge for long enough. Did well to make sure that the quad salto was in combo with the double toe, but I don't know if the rotation on the quad salto has gone into the system as clean. And a back inside to back outside edge change before stepping up into the triple axel. And this performance will hopefully be pivotal in the mental preparation for the rest of the season for Kazuki, because as I said in warm-up, he'd injured his hip 3 weeks ago, and it has worried him sufficiently to mention it to the Japanese press. But he said if he can deliver, this will give him confidence to perform in difficult situations, and of course, difficult situations inevitable as an elite athlete. .45, and that puts Kazuki Tomono into 3rd place at this stage. The 94 Olympic champion Alexei Urmanov sends off the next competitor, Mikhail Shaidorov. 20 years of age now, coming off the back of a win at the Dennis Tent Memorial. He, another skater, using the Dune soundtrack this season. Shame. Ball on opening quad loops for Mikhail. This entry so difficult. Oh, sorry, the triple axel, relatively easy entry, but so beautifully executed. That was a difficult entry into quad toe and successfully put it in combination with triple toe. Well, great use of the arms within the change foot combination spin to accentuate the music for Mikhail Shaidorov, but he will be sorely disappointed to have had the mistake on the intended opening quadlets triple toe. And any chance of getting close to the 95 points that he achieved at the Dennis 10 Memorial are now gone. But an ambitious skater who wants openly and honestly to follow in the footsteps of Olympic champion coach Urmanov. He said that he's been preparing for this event in different countries with his team, and that preparation had been successful, so he was hoping to be able to show a clean skate throughout the season. There to the left of the shot, the Olympic champion from 30 years ago, as Mikhail steps up into quadlutes. Just a little tight on takeoff perhaps. The triple axel showcasing the quality and refinement of position he has, a beautiful landing position. And indeed, Mikhail has a very elegant and refined style, always pointing his toe on his free leg, always open-chested with his back. You can see the butterfly entry into the flying camel, showcasing that. And the right forward inside twizzle, confirmation of the extension through the foot. That said, interestingly, the judges for Mikhail have gone into the mid-sevens range, lower than that than quite a lot of the men that we've seen at this competition so far, so suggesting that they don't believe there's enough flow and glide to be as competitive with the likes of Selevko, Tomono and Torgashev, who have higher components than the Kazakhstani skater, despite the fact that he came in with the most difficult planned program content technically. So unfortunately, the technical element score mistakes impacts on the components as well, and Mikhail scores a 79.89 and now finds himself in 6th place, unlikely to make the top group for the free skate.
Next to skate, representing Italy, please welcome Nikolaj Memola.
As we see the Italian flag proudly wave for the next skater, Nikolaj Memola. Aiming here for 2 clean skates. I acknowledge though that the injury took a lot of his preparation. He's been doing much better in practice recently than he was at the beginning of September. Skating to Mission Impossible by hand zip. Well, like Mikhail Shaidorov was hoping for a quadlets to start, but just opening up to do the triple. Recovers with triple axel. Interesting change of planned program content for Nikolaj to make a triple flip, triple toe the combination. scrambling to fight through. Coach and choreographer discussed ringside. Nikolaj Memola, the performance there, I'm sure, a reflection of the hampered preparation. He had a stellar season 2 years ago on the junior circuit, making the Junior Grand Prix final, winning that. Then went on to 4th place at Junior Worlds. Last year, top 10 at both Europeans and Worlds. And then in the off-season, I saw he was out to Canada to pursue further training and wanting to ride high on the crest of that successful wave and over the past 2 seasons. Then the ankle fracture forced him off the ice for 6 weeks in the off-season. As Barbara greets him. He said he's known Barbara since he was born. And she now the choreographer for Nikolaj. So the injury, and then he competed at the Shanghai Open and got a bite on the flight back and had an awful allergic reaction in his right foot, then couldn't skate again. This was hoping to be a quad lutz, which he's used so successfully before, turned it into a triple, which then impacted upon the jump combo, which is normally a triple lutz, triple toe. Here the triple axel was fine, but he didn't have the energy perhaps to do a quad lutz later in the program, so had to think on his feet and subsequently elected to do triple flip, triple toe. That was a salvation. The problem though, as we see the flip toe, which was okay, was that flying sit spin, which currently is under review by the technical panel, but appears to have been given no value whatsoever. So insufficient rotation achieved on the sit spin positions for him to secure a value on that, and that loses another 3.5 to 4 points as Barbara jokingly acknowledges the disappointment there. But as I said in warm-up, his mother has prevented him from suffering despair over injuries throughout the off-season. She's got him back to be able to compete and salvage this season, and she'll be able to make sure that any disappointment from that skate is put into context as he presumably endeavours to peak towards the Olympics in his home country in 2026. So Nikolaj scores a 68.71. Barbara, as ever, has her usual charismatic flair and reaction to the skate.
Next to skate representing Switzerland. Please give a warm welcome to Lukas Britschgi.
Well, now to the Swiss representative in Angers, France. Good to see so many Swiss flags being raised in support of Lukas Britschgi. And I cannot wait to see this concept develop and unfold for his short program. Look out for the sign language and the interpretation, the step sequence towards the end of this performance. A long way for Lukas. Iron Sky by Paolo Nutini. The sound we are expecting to hear. Uncharacteristic for this to happen at an event of this standard. But it looks like he's good to go now.
We are proud individuals living for the city, but the flame couldn't go much higher.
Down on the quad toe.
And religions to paint us with salvation, but no one, no nobody can give you the power.
Easy on triple axel.
Those who can hear me, I say,
Tries to regroup to make a triple-triple, but just triple loops double toe.
Is but the passing of dreams, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Let us use that power, let us all unite and we'll rise. Oh, my love, nobody through the science sky.
Good use of the new feature this year, the difficult blade feature within the spin to up the level. Well, undoubtedly, Lukas Britschgi will be disappointed. The fall, the triple-double as opposed to the triple-triple. And it's not competitive with what we have seen or what we will see as the season progresses, but what the skater is doing with his bravery and taking his art form, his medium, his sport to speak a story is just amazing. And kudos and congrats to Andrea Vaturi, the choreographer, who expressed that during the monologue from Charlie Chaplin from The Great Dictator, Lukas's movements become even more expressive through this powerful language, embodying the importance of unity, dignity, and hope. And indeed, even the costume, you can see, features foreign characters from the lyrics, and that is to symbolize a message that transcends language and borders. Here's the quad toe. And you could, in defense of Lukas Britschgi, suggest that the delay at the beginning of the program, waiting the music, could have derailed him mentally, but he's a seasoned campaigner, he's an experienced competitor, and he returned to deliver a comfortable triple axel. But this was the nail in the coffin of the disappointment for the performance for Lukas, just triple loops double toe. And Lukas and Andrea had said that nowadays the message of this choreography feels even more relevant, reflecting the need for unity, resilience and hope. And how exciting and intriguing that the skater uses the sport for that storytelling. The score won't be something he wants to see, 77.09. that a reflection of the mistakes? And Lukas finds himself in 7th place with one more skater left to compete. And Alison Reed and Gabriela Papadakis, Guillaume Cizeron, partner of Gabriela Papadakis, cheer on the final competitor in the men's short program, Adam Siao Him Fa. How much has the injury impacted upon his preparation for this season's Grand Prix? It looked like Adam was struggling with the quadlutes in the warm-up 40 minutes ago or so. That will be the first element in his short program now. Wow, that shows the strength of the competitor Adam is. Quadlutes, triple toe. Oh. Oh no, down again on the triple axel. Well, the now illegal backflip, arguably something that Adam himself has facilitated by competing with the backflip illegally last season to conclude this short program. Adam managed to deliver a clean skate in Nice at the event not long ago. Difficult to say the rationale behind the difficult skate here, but surely 6 weeks off the ice has had a huge part to play in that frustrating skate for the European champion. And fascinatingly, a skater that has 2 short programs choreographed for him this season by Benoit. Benoit believing that it offers Adam the opportunity to stay excited and inspired by the short program options he has this season, as we see the preparation and setup for the quadlutes, which eluded him completely in warm-up. but looked so comfortable in performance. However, the quad toe was painful looking fall, and you can see what coach choreographer Benoit thinks of that. Back inside double 3-turn, preparing for triple axel, and Adam's triple axel normally has airtime for a 4th rotation regularly, so that perhaps an impact on his lack of comparative run-throughs in training. Who knows? But as the recurring theme of injury invades the discussion and so many of the athletes competing here, we have to assume that, not sure the rationale behind that, but we have to assume that the athletes are pushing themselves with the eyes on the 2026 Olympics. And so then we hope that this push in the off-season that has encouraged some of the injuries that athletes are suffering from will abate in the 18 months ahead as we head towards Milano Cortina Olympic Games. That said, Adam Siao Him Fa perhaps has his sights now set on the 2030 Olympics, given that that Games will take place in the nation he's in now, in his home nation, with France now assigned the 2030 Winter Games. Can he stay physically fit enough to continue beyond this Olympic cycle? Difficult for Cédric Tour and Benoit to know what to say. I think Benoit saying that even despite the mistakes, the step was good, and indeed the step sequence for Adam in that performance, the final element, achieved the level 4, the maximum level, with a healthy grade of execution boost added. What will be difficult for Adam is to see the skating skills component score being low here, the components in the high 7s and low 8s. Boyang Jin leads with 88, and the top 5 all have scores in the 80s. How much work will Adam have to do in the free skate to retain his title here in Angers? So it is 74.9 for the world bronze medalist. That said, Adam Siao Him Fa is the comeback kid. He is the skater to have achieved the biggest jump in standings from a short program to a free skate when he accelerated up the standings at the World Championships in Montreal to take the bronze medal in March of this year. Well, not the result anybody would have predicted, with the veteran Boyang Jin delivering the winning short program skate. And what a delight that was to enjoy seeing. And the surprise of this event will be that of Adam Siao Him Fa, finding himself in 8th place. Some 13 points behind Boyang Jin. But given his past history and given the content capability that Adam has, I wouldn't be surprised if he could still come back to take the title. That will be decided in the free skate tomorrow as we look back at the performance of Kazuki Tomono, the Japanese skater who entertained us with his performance en route to a score of 83.45, and his quick thinking to make the second quad in his short program into a combination has helped put himself in medal contention. My favorite performance of the event, I think, from a choreographic standpoint, comes from Aleksandr Selevko. And although he too suffered from some mistakes within the performance, it will be the program component scores which helped him to achieve the 2nd place. it is the return to form for Boyang Jin, a former 4 continents champion, a former world medalist, that now leads the field after this short program. And the storytelling behind his performance, choreographed by Joey Russell, quite beautiful and quite special, and lovely moments shared by Boyang Jin and his coach Brian Orser here. So that concludes the men's short program at the Grand Prix de France. 3 of the 4 events on this first day of competition are complete, and we look ahead to the pairs short program. Make sure you return to enjoy the final event of this first day of competition.